If you check out my videos on Joe Biden, you'll notice that I sound broadly optimistic about his political fortunes, and I remain as such. In largest measure, I ascribe this to the great fortune of being in a period when Neptune is going through a trine of all your planets, because this tends to ensure your popularity, which is great for a politician. However, that said, there are Saturn transits, and everyone goes through them, and they tend to be particularly hard on politicians because things come up that are very hard to solve. And if you look at his chart, you can see the primary problem is Saturn squaring his natal Mars in the 12th, which points to all the struggles connected to the pandemic that he's dealing with, which I think he's dealt with very well. The problem is, and we see this as we move into this Saturn station, which will be happening in a few days later in May, on the 23rd to be specific, we see that because the Mars is implicated in the 9th house through its square to Pluto, and Saturn is squaring Mars and broadly opposing Pluto, you've got the 9th house of foreign affairs getting involved, and this is clearly related to this situation in Israel, and the fact that if you look at the Saturn at birth, 7th house, therefore it's implying the idea of allies. Saturn in Aquarius also connects to the idea of friends, which Israel is supposed to be for the US and has been for a long time, but now we're in a bit of a mess here because a lot of people are also seeing the other side of the issue, the plight of the Palestinians, and Joe is in a no-win situation because he needs to tell them to stop, but he can't exactly, yell at them to stop. And so he's experiencing the Saturn station in a rather difficult way. I think it'll pass as we move into next month, but nevertheless, we're seeing the effects of Saturn on Joe, and I'm sure he's finding it pretty hard.